Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. What happens when a woman realizes she is whole, complete, and powerful all by herself? The world shifts. Men take notice. But more importantly, she steps into a version of herself she never knew existed. Detachment is not about walking away from love or opportunity. It's about stepping into your power. Imagine a tree standing tall in a storm. The winds may howl. The branches may sway, but its roots remain firm in the ground. That's what detachment is. It's the quiet, unshakable confidence that says, I know my worth and I will not settle for less. Think about the times you faced heartbreak, rejection, or doubt. It felt like the end of the world, didn't it? But here's the truth: adversity is the greatest teacher. Every setback is a stepping stone. Every closed door is a redirect towards something greater. Detachment doesn't mean you don't feel pain, it means you rise from it. I once met a woman who had been through it all: loss, betrayal, and moments where the weight of the world seemed unbearable. She told me, I realized I was chasing validation from everyone but myself. So I stopped chasing. She poured her energy into her passions, learned to enjoy her own company, and stopped fearing solitude. She became magnetic not because she was perfect, but because she was whole. She wasn't waiting for someone to save her. She had saved herself. Men are drawn to this. Why? Because detachment says, I choose you, but I don't need you. It says, I value my peace over fleeting promises. It sets a standard. And when you set a standard, you invite the right kind of people into your life. Detachment is a profound expression of inner strength, one that often gets misunderstood. It's not about shutting people out or avoiding emotions. It's about reclaiming your sense of self. It's the ability to remain centered and confident, regardless of the external circumstances swirling around you. Imagine a lighthouse standing firm in the face of crashing waves. The storms come, the tides rise, but the lighthouse remains a beacon of stability. That's what detachment looks like: a commitment to staying rooted in your values and worth. When a woman embodies detachment, she radiates a quiet power that doesn't need to announce itself. This strength isn't loud or boastful. It's a calm assurance that she knows who she is and what she deserves. This kind of self-possession speaks volumes. It says, I am whole on my own. It's an energy that's magnetic because it signals emotional maturity and resilience. People, especially men, are drawn to this because it reflects a level of independence that's deeply attractive. It's not about being distant, it's about being self-sufficient and emotionally secure. Life throws challenges at us all. Some days it feels like everything is falling apart. There are heartbreaks, failures, and moments of doubt that make you question your worth. Detachment doesn't mean you're unaffected by these moments, it means you learn to rise above them. It's about understanding that while pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. You may face disappointments, but they don't define you. Instead, you use them to grow stronger and more self-aware. Detachment is the armor you wear when life tries to shake you, ensuring that your sense of self remains intact. A woman who practices detachment does not seek validation from external sources. She doesn't rely on a partner, a job title, or social media likes to feel worthy. Her confidence comes from within, from the knowledge that she is enough as she is. This inner strength allows her to navigate relationships and situations without becoming overly dependent or losing herself in the process. She doesn't cling or chase, she attracts by being her authentic self. This doesn't mean she's emotionless or disconnected. On the contrary, a detached woman feels deeply and loves passionately, but her love is not rooted in fear or insecurity, it's grounded in choice. She chooses to give love freely, not out of abundant need, but out of abundance. This kind of love is rare. And it's powerful because it's not tied to expectations or demands. It's a love that says, I care for you, but my happiness doesn't depend on you. This independence is a game changer. It sets boundaries that demand respect. It creates a space where only those who truly value and appreciate her can enter. And that's where the magic happens. Men and people in general are naturally drawn to someone who exudes this kind of confidence. It's refreshing and inspiring. It challenges them to rise to the same level of emotional maturity and self-assurance. Detachment doesn't come easy. It requires self-reflection and a willingness to confront your fears and insecurities. It's about learning to sit with discomfort without letting it control you. But the reward is immeasurable. When you master detachment, you unlock a freedom that allows you to live authentically and unapologetically. You stop living for others and start living for yourself. This kind of inner strength is rare and it's transformative. It changes the way you see the world and the way the world sees you. Detachment isn't about pushing people away, it's about standing tall in your power and inviting the right people to walk beside you. And that kind of strength, it's unshakable, it's attractive, and it's yours to claim. Confidence is a force that transforms how a person moves through the world, and for women it carries an especially magnetic quality. When this confidence stems from detachment, it becomes an even greater asset. Detachment is not about shutting down emotions or being aloof, it's about creating space for self-assurance to thrive. A woman who is detached demonstrates that she is not tethered to external validation. Instead, her confidence is rooted in her inner sense of worth, and this quality draws others to her like a flame attracts moths. Picture a woman walking into a room, her presence commanding attention not because of what she says, but because of how she carries herself. Her confidence is palpable, not overbearing, but undeniable. She's not seeking approval or chasing acceptance because she already knows her value. This self-assured demeanor creates an aura of independence and intrigue that's impossible to ignore. Men and people in general are naturally drawn to such confidence because it reflects emotional stability, self-awareness, and strength. Confidence built on detachment is different from surface-level bravado. It's not about putting on a show or masking insecurities, it's about embracing who you are and being at peace with it. This kind of confidence doesn't need validation from others, which makes it deeply attractive. Men are often intrigued by women who seem unfazed by societal pressures or expectations, who choose to live authentically and unapologetically. This calm self-assurance signals maturity and emotional intelligence, qualities that are universally admired. Detachment allows a woman to remain grounded in her sense of self, even in challenging situations. Imagine someone who faces rejection or criticism but doesn't waver. She doesn't crumble because her confidence isn't built on shaky ground. She knows that her worth isn't diminished by someone else's inability to see it. This resilience is not only admirable but also inspiring, as it shows an ability to weather storms without losing herself. A confident woman who is detached isn't afraid to set boundaries, and this is where her strength truly shines. Boundaries are an act of self-respect. They communicate that she values her time, energy, and emotions enough to protect them. This is incredibly appealing because it shows that she won't settle for less than she deserves. Men in particular respect and are drawn to women who have the courage to uphold their standards, as it challenges them to meet those standards and approach the relationship with integrity. Another layer of this confidence is the sense of mystery it creates. When a woman is detached, she isn't easily swayed or overly available, and this creates intrigue. Men are naturally curious about someone who doesn't conform to the typical patterns of seeking validation or approval. This mystery doesn't come from playing games, but from living a life so rich and fulfilling that she doesn't depend on others to complete her. Her confidence says, I'm content with who I am and where I'm going, and anyone who joins me on this journey will have to add value to it. The beauty of confidence through detachment is that it's contagious. A woman who embodies this inspires others to seek the same strength within themselves. She becomes a role model for resilience and authenticity, showing that true confidence doesn't come from external accolades, but from an unshakable belief in one's worth. In a world where many seek constant reassurance, a woman who exudes confidence through detachment stands out. She's a reminder that the most attractive quality isn't found in appearance or charm, but in the quiet power of someone who knows and loves herself deeply. This kind of confidence doesn't just attract, it transforms. It elevates every interaction, every relationship, and every opportunity, making her a force to be reckoned with. Overcoming neediness is one of the most empowering journeys a woman can embark upon. Neediness often stems from a fear of inadequacy or a belief that happiness is found outside oneself, often in the form of validation from others. Detachment, however, breaks this cycle by shifting the focus inward. It allows a woman to reclaim her power and cultivate self-worth independent of external factors. When a woman is no longer ruled by the need for approval, she becomes a beacon of strength, confidence, and authenticity. Neediness can manifest in subtle ways, constantly seeking reassurance, overthinking interactions, or fearing rejection. These behaviors don't come from a place of malice, but from an internal struggle with self-doubt. The problem is, neediness often repels the very connection or respect that a person desires. It sends a message that one's sense of value is tied to another's opinion, which can be overwhelming for those on the receiving end. Detachment flips this narrative. It says, I am enough as I am, and I don't need external validation to feel complete. When a woman overcomes neediness, she creates space for authenticity in her relationships. Imagine a scenario where she's no longer driven by the fear of losing someone or the desire to prove her worth. Instead, she engages in relationships from a place of abundance, not lack. This shift changes everything. She's no longer clinging or chasing, she's standing in her power, open to connection but not dependent on it. This dynamic is incredibly attractive because it reflects emotional maturity and self-reliance. Detachment doesn't mean avoiding vulnerability or connection. In fact, it enhances both. When a woman detaches from the need for approval, she's free to show up as her true self. Vulnerability becomes a strength, not a weakness, because it's shared from a place of confidence, not fear. This authenticity deepens connections as it allows others to see and appreciate her for who she truly is. Overcoming neediness through detachment also leads to better decision-making. A woman who is no longer driven by the need to please or gain approval can assess relationships and situations more objectively. She's not swayed by desperation or fear, but guided by her values and boundaries. This clarity empowers her to make choices that align with her self-worth and long-term goals, ensuring she surrounds herself with people who genuinely respect and uplift her. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. It requires self-awareness and a willingness to confront the fears and insecurities that fuel neediness. It involves asking tough questions. Why do I feel incomplete without external validation? What beliefs about myself am I holding on to that no longer serve me? Through introspection, a woman begins to recognize her inherent worth, separate from her relationships or accomplishments. She learns to validate herself, creating a foundation of confidence that no external force can shake. The power of detachment is that it replaces neediness with empowerment. A woman who no longer seeks approval becomes magnetic. Her self-assurance draws others to her because it signals strength and independence. People are naturally intrigued by someone who is content within themselves, as it challenges them to rise to the same level of emotional maturity. Detachment also fosters resilience. A woman who is not dependent on external validation can handle rejection and setbacks with grace. Instead of seeing them as reflections of her worth, she views them as opportunities for growth. This perspective allows her to bounce back stronger, ready to face life's challenges without losing her sense of self. When a woman overcomes neediness, she doesn't just transform herself, she transforms her relationships and the energy she brings into the world. She becomes a model of self-love and empowerment, inspiring those around her to do the same. This kind of strength isn't just attractive, it's transformative. It elevates her life, her connections, and her future, proving that true power lies in knowing you are enough, exactly as you are. Detachment creates a captivating sense of mystery and intrigue that draws people in naturally. This mystery isn't about playing games or withholding affection, it's about living a life so full, so vibrant, that it becomes inherently intriguing. When a woman detaches from the need to be overly accessible or to seek constant validation, she creates a space that invites curiosity and admiration. It's this space that becomes a magnet for attention and respect as people are compelled to learn more about her. Mystery arises when a woman's life is deeply enriched by her passions, goals, and individuality. Imagine someone who is so immersed in her personal growth, hobbies, and dreams that she exudes an effortless charm. She doesn't need to announce every detail of her life because her actions and presence speak for themselves. This quiet confidence creates an air of intrigue, prompting others to wonder about the depth of her character and the richness of her experiences. Detachment allows a woman to avoid the trap of overexposure. In today's world of constant connectivity, it's easy to feel pressured to share every thought, emotion, and moment. But when a woman practices detachment, she understands the value of holding some things back, not out of secrecy, but out of self-respect. She doesn't feel the need to overshare or explain herself because she knows her worth isn't tied to others' approval. This restraint adds to her allure, making her seem like a rare gem rather than something commonplace. This sense of mystery also stems from her independence. A detached woman doesn't rely on others to fill her time or define her happiness. She has her own rhythm, her own priorities, and her own sense of purpose. This independence challenges conventional expectations as it shows she's not waiting for someone else to complete her story. She's already the author of her narrative. This autonomy is incredibly attractive because it inspires admiration and respect. Men, in particular, are drawn to this energy because it's refreshing and compelling. A woman who isn't constantly seeking attention or validation signals that she's confident in herself. This confidence, combined with the intrigue of her individuality, sparks a natural desire to get to know her better. She becomes a puzzle worth solving, not because she's deliberately withholding, but because her life is so multidimensional that it invites exploration. Mystery also fosters respect. When a woman is detached, she sets boundaries that communicate her value. She doesn't rush to explain or justify herself. Instead, she allows her actions and presence to do the talking. This quiet self-assurance commands attention and respect, as it shows she's secure in who she is. It's this combination of confidence and subtlety that makes her stand out. Creating mystery through detachment doesn't mean being closed off or distant. It's about maintaining a balance between openness and reserve. A detached woman knows how to share her emotions and connect deeply without losing herself in the process. This ability to strike a balance makes her both relatable and intriguing, a rare and powerful combination. The beauty of this mystery is that it's rooted in authenticity. It's not about creating a facade or pretending to be something you're not. It's about embracing your uniqueness and allowing it to shine naturally. When a woman lives authentically and unapologetically, she doesn't need to fabricate intrigue. It's simply a byproduct of her genuine self-expression. This kind of energy doesn't just attract the right people, it filters out those who aren't aligned with her values. People who appreciate her mystery and depth are more likely to respect and cherish her for who she truly is. It's not about playing hard to get, it's about being so fully yourself that only those who truly value you will make the effort to connect. The mystery created through detachment isn't a strategy or a tactic, it's a reflection of a life well lived and a soul at peace. It's an invitation for others to step up and meet you at your level, inspiring deeper connections and greater mutual respect. This is the kind of energy that transforms relationships and leaves a lasting impression. It's not just attractive, it's unforgettable. Turning adversity into growth is one of the most powerful aspects of detachment. Life is filled with challenges, heartbreaks, rejections, and setbacks that can make you feel as though the world is against you. But adversity is not a dead end, it's a crossroads. When a woman embraces detachment, she learns to see these challenges not as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities for transformation. This shift in perspective is where true growth begins. Adversity often tests our sense of self. It can feel like a storm that strips away everything you thought you knew about your strength and resilience. But just like a diamond is forged under pressure, personal growth is born out of struggle. Detachment helps a woman approach adversity with a mindset that says, "This is happening for me, not to me." It's a shift from victimhood to empowerment, a realization that challenges can shape you into a stronger, wiser, and more confident version of yourself. Detachment doesn't mean ignoring the pain of adversity. It means acknowledging it, sitting with it, and allowing it to teach you something valuable. For example, a woman who experiences heartbreak might initially feel lost and unworthy. But through detachment, she can step back and reflect, what did this experience teach me about myself? What boundaries did I neglect to set? How can I use this pain to grow stronger? This introspection allows her to transform her suffering into wisdom, ensuring that future relationships are built on a foundation of sense of self-respect and clarity. When adversity strikes, it's easy to fall into the trap of seeking external validation or comfort. But detachment teaches a woman to look inward for strength. Instead of clinging to others for support, she learns to rely on herself. This self-reliance doesn't mean isolating herself or refusing help. It means recognizing that her core strength comes from within. By developing this inner resilience, she becomes better equipped to face future challenges with grace and confidence. Detachment also fosters a growth mindset. A woman who practices detachment understands that failure is not final, it's a stepping stone. Each setback becomes an opportunity to learn, adapt, and improve. This perspective empowers her to take risks and pursue her goals without the fear of rejection or judgment holding her back. She knows that every stumble is a chance to rise stronger and more determined. Consider the metaphor of a tree in a storm. Its branches may bend, and some leaves may fall, but its roots remain grounded. Over time, the tree grows taller and more resilient because it has weathered the storm. Similarly, a woman who embraces detachment allows life's challenges to deepen her roots. She doesn't break under pressure, she adapts, grows, and thrives. Adversity also teaches the importance of boundaries. Many challenges arise when boundaries are crossed, whether in relationships, work, or personal life. A detached woman learns to set and enforce boundaries that protect her peace and what. These boundaries are a form of self-respect, a way of saying, I value myself enough to protect my energy. This clarity not only prevents unnecessary pain, but also invites healthier, more respectful connections into her life. Through detachment, a woman transforms adversity into a source of empowerment. Each challenge becomes a lesson, each setback a springboard for growth. She learns to trust herself, to stand firm in her values, and to move forward with courage and conviction. This process of turning pain into progress makes her magnetic, as it reflects a level of emotional maturity and strength that others admire. Adversity is not something to fear or avoid, it's a catalyst for becoming your best self. Detachment allows a woman to embrace this truth, to see every challenge as an opportunity to grow, and to emerge from life's storms not just surviving but thriving. This resilience is not only attractive but transformative, showing the world that strength is built through perseverance and self-love. Living authentically and unapologetically is one of the most liberating and magnetic aspects of detachment. Authenticity is about embracing who you are without fear of judgment or rejection. It's about aligning your actions, thoughts, and emotions with your true self, rather than conforming to others' expectations. Detachment plays a crucial role in fostering this authenticity by freeing a woman from the need for external validation. This freedom allows her to step into her power, live her truth, and inspire others to do the same. When a woman lives authentically, she shines in a way that is both natural and captivating. She doesn't need to fit into societal molds or seek approval because she's fully comfortable in her own skin. This self-acceptance radiates confidence and joy, qualities that are incredibly attractive. Men and people in general are drawn to someone who isn't afraid to be themselves because it reflects emotional strength and self-assuredness. Authenticity requires courage. It means being willing to show up as you are, even when it's uncomfortable or risky. It's about speaking your truth, pursuing your passions, and honoring your boundaries, even if others don't understand or approve. Detachment provides the emotional resilience needed to live this way. When a woman detaches from the fear of criticism or rejection, she gains the freedom to express herself fully. She understands that her worth isn't tied to others' opinions, so she no longer feels the need to compromise who she is for acceptance. Living authentically also involves embracing imperfection. A detached woman knows she doesn't have to be perfect to be worthy. She allows herself to be vulnerable, to make mistakes, and to grow from them. This vulnerability isn't a weakness, it's a strength because it shows she's real. It invites deeper connections because it gives others permission to be authentic too. This openness creates relationships built on mutual respect and understanding rather than superficial expectations. When a woman lives unapologetically, she becomes a force of nature. She pursues her dreams with passion and determination, unburdened by the fear of failure or judgment. Detachment helps her stay grounded in her purpose, allowing her to navigate challenges and setbacks without losing sight of her goals. She doesn't seek permission to be herself or to chase her aspirations. She simply does it, knowing that her happiness and fulfillment come from within. This unapologetic approach to life also extends to how she sets boundaries and prioritizes her well-being. A detached woman knows that saying no to what doesn't serve her is an act of self-love. She doesn't feel guilty for putting herself first because she understands that she can only give her best to others when she's honoring her own needs. This self-respect is deeply attractive as it signals a level of emotional maturity and independence that others admire. Living authentically and unapologetically creates a ripple effect. When a woman shows up as her true self, she inspires those around her to do the same. Her courage and confidence challenge others to reflect on their own lives and to consider how they might live more authentically. She becomes a role model for resilience and self-love, showing that true beauty lies in embracing who you are. This way of living doesn't just attract people, it attracts the right people. A detached woman filters out those who don't align with her values or respect her boundaries. She creates space for relationships that are genuine, supportive, and fulfilling. This selective energy ensures that her connections are rooted in mutual appreciation rather than compromise or obligation. Living authentically and unapologetically is about freedom. It's about breaking free from the chains of societal expectations, fear, and self-doubt. Detachment is the key to this freedom, as it allows a woman to prioritize her truth over others' perceptions. When she lives this way, she doesn't just thrive, she becomes a beacon of inspiration, proof that authenticity is the most powerful way to live and love. Let us remember this: the power of detachment is not about withdrawing from the world, but stepping into your own. It's about reclaiming your strength, your worth, and your purpose. When a woman detaches from the need for validation, she discovers the profound truth that everything she seeks lies within her. She becomes a force of nature, confident, resilient, and unapologetically authentic. Challenges will come, but they are not your end, they are your beginning. Adversity is not meant to break you, it is meant to build you. When you embrace detachment, you rise above neediness, create mystery, and transform obstacles into stepping stones. You cultivate a life that is rich, meaningful, and magnetic to those who value you for who you truly are. I urge you, take ownership of your life. Stand tall in your authenticity. Set boundaries that honor your worth. Let go of what no longer serves you and embrace the incredible potential of who you are becoming. This journey is not always easy, but it is always worth it. Walk forward knowing that the world respects a woman who respects herself. Be bold in your detachment, fearless in your pursuit of growth, and unshakable in your confidence. When you do, you won't just attract the right people, you will create a life that feels like home. Thank you, and may you walk away from here inspired, empowered, and ready to live a life that reflects the incredible person you are.